Emily, and this is Sip and Steep. Today, for our final episode, we'll be talking about tea and the different kinds of tea you can buy and different sorts of properties that they have and caffeine levels and flavors and all the things you need to think about when you're overwhelmed in the tea aisle. So I have some examples of tea. We're going to steep some tea and Nathan's going to make a concentrate for us in case you want your tea really, really strong. Tea is one of those beverages everyone can enjoy because there's so many kinds of tea. When we talk about tea, we're actually talking about the leaves of the tea tree. So you may be familiar with tea tree oil, but there's also a process to ferment and dry the leaves, which makes them into a really amazing beverage. So right here, I have a black lemon tea. So black tea is dried in a different way. It's much darker and it has a stronger caffeine content. And this tea is mixed with lemon pieces and lemongrass, and that gives it the lemon flavor. This is a Moroccan mint green tea. So we discussed green tea last time, but Moroccan mint is one of those really, really famous flavors you'll see all over the place. It's a green tea that has the mint oil. And if you're not interested in any kind of caffeine or you wanted more fruit, there are herbal teas. So this is a really big tea bag for a big iced tea pitcher. So we're just gonna open this guy up and see what's inside. So herbal teas are usually a mix of fruits and herbs and other kinds of flavors that are not actually tea. So it looks like there's some tea in here, but it's actually just lemongrass sticks. So there's no real tea in this one here. So that means no caffeine, and that also means it's not going to be the same color, that greenish yellow or that brownish black that tea is. This is going to be a different color. It actually has pea flower in it, so it's going to be a little bit purple. So we'll show you guys what it actually looks like to steep tea. Usually you would have your tea in a little strainer if it's loose leaf tea, or a bag if it's from the store, but it's really neat to watch how tea moves in the water, so we're just gonna kind of wing it. We're not gonna do green tea since we did that last time. We'll just show you what it looks like to steep a black tea and an herbal tea and how different those are. So black tea has about half the caffeine of coffee. And if you're steeping for like an 8-ounce cup, you're just gonna do 1 teaspoon, hence the name. So this is a tablespoon, so I'm gonna do a little bit less than an actual tablespoon. Pop that in the bottom. It's less than you think you'll need, but actually it is plenty. And get some black tea off there so we don't cross-contaminate. Very scientific. Try and get as much of this fun stuff as we can here. So obviously if you want it a little stronger, you can add more. If you want it less strong, you can put less inside. And now we're going to add our water. So as always, you want boiling water. That's really, really important. You can steep tea cold. You can steep it at room temperature, but it's not gonna have as quick a steep time and it's not gonna be as strong a flavor. So the first thing to notice is how much of the tea goes to the bottom. That always interests me because in the tea bag you don't know where it's gonna sit. And these two teas are already going to start looking pretty different. So this Indigo Punch has some pea flower tea like we did in our earlier episode, but it also has fruits and some herbs that are acidic, so it's going to take it on the purple side of the spectrum. And then this black tea is going to be a pretty traditional, what you would expect for a black tea.
another thing we wanted to mention is tea concentrates. It's actually pretty easy. What you want to do is you want to take your tea in high amounts with about 5 to 6 cups of water. You want to put it in a pitcher and then let it steep. It'll make a really strong tea, and there's definitely like room for experimenting with different teas, green, herbal, black teas. But one of the most common ones is chai tea, or spiced tea. So this one is a pumpkin spiced tea, and what we'll do as an example is actually just put in our bags. And then we'll add about 5 to 6 cups of water. So chai teas or spiced teas is actually really interesting because you can add spices to it. Orange rinds, anise seeds, cinnamon. There's a lot of different recipes, and we'll actually include that as well for your concentrate. Now you want to let this steep for about the same time you would a normal cup, but because there's so much tea, it'll make a really strong brew that you can use later, adding your favorite honey or sugar or milk. This has been Sip and Steep. My name's Nathan.
And I'm Emily. Bye.
Bye. Sorry, I'm double checking the sweet cream poultry.
We're recording.
All right.
This table is super wrecked. We spilled a lot of coffee.
I'm sorry.
No, you're right.